we mentioned whilst we were out on the course about interviews, right?
Yeah.
And when you do stuff, and you know, and as your career, as you sort of come into the end of your career, you started doing the coaching. But how far deep did you go into the coaching? Because obviously you want to move to what you're doing now. But was there an interlude where you were doing a lot?
So when I retired, a lot of people in that process that had gone through the change as well said, just make sure you're busy. Whatever you do, just get into a routine, make sure you're busy. So I threw myself into everything. So I retired at Brighton. We got promoted, and they said, like, obviously, I said, like, I couldn't. Obviously, I was going to retire. I'm not playing no more. So they said, look, love you to stay within the club. So I was coaching under 18s and 16s. But I was finishing off my A licence badge as well. It was near enough done. So I just needed to be in-house just to like tick the box. So I was doing that as well as all the media stuff as well. But in fact, I was probably doing too much.
Right. Okay.
It was overkill, really. All the stuff that I was doing, because probably like yourselves, when you do something, you're all in.
Yep.
So with the coaching, they said, listen, it's 4 days a week with the games on a Saturday, but we'll govern it all by you. And I was like, right, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it. So 2 evenings, 2 full days as well, plus the games, plus all the TV stuff. It was great. My mind was like occupied, but in the long haul, it was just overkill.
Yeah.
So, but it was always going to be whatever path shut off, really. If an opportunity come up in the coaching, then I would have gone with it. But it was really the broadcasting stuff that then took off.
So, and with the broadcasting, like you obviously sit, you know, you're with BT, right? And so you get that kind of continuity of doing it each week. So when you first started that, how nervous were you when you were actually in the studio? What's the feeling of that?
Yeah, I mean, well, especially with BT, because the studio is massive.
Is it?
It's like in Stratford, it's huge. It's too big. But they utilise the space really well. But when you walk in there, compared to other stuff that you've done throughout your career, which is like small confined spaces, you also get a little bit of media training. So little nuggets in terms of football. If there's a goal that goes in, they'll always show you 3 replays from different angles. If it's a great goal, there'll be 5 replays. So don't shoot your load, obviously, like on the first couple rather than, so like string it out a little bit. So it helps when there's people around you as well that you've grown up with, played against, played with. And then, it's easy. And ultimately, it's just like now. You're literally talking about football with a mic on.
Yeah.
In front of a game.
Yeah, because you're not seeing the audience, are you? Right. So,
No.
so you know, even though there's millions of people watching it. It's once you start getting into that cycle, I suppose that
so
changes.
it's easy, but there's always that nervous energy, like I said before. That little countdown in your ear, right? 5, and you think, here we go. Like you get a little bit, you make sure like you're deep your belly in, like the belly, like the buttons on your thing. It's one of them. It literally is. And then before you're in the flow, that's it. You're going, and it goes so quickly as well.
And do you do commentary or do you do like?
Yeah, so co-coms. So broadcasting, I do the BT Sport. So we do the Saturday show, the kick-off, do some live games, and then got the podcast, and then I do co-coms for Radio 5 Live.
Oh, okay.
Brilliant.
Do you enjoy that? Because that's a very different. Obviously, in the studio, you come to for big incidents, right?
Yeah.
But how do you like? Do you have to do loads of research? Because everyone seems to know so much about all the players.
Yes.
It's reactive. You've got to be,
That's it.
especially with the names of the players.
I was going to say pronouncing the names would be a disaster for me.
Oh, don't. Yeah. And it's got worse for all the foreign players that come in as well. So the main thing you've got to realise with co-coms or punditry is you're there to not do all the stats. You're not there to do all the big words. You're there for a reason. You're there because you've been on the pitch. Yep. You've crossed that white line where other people haven't. So just give the opinion or why they've done that.
Yeah.
So the radio, because people can't see that, then you've got to be clever. You've got to paint the picture.
Yeah, that's hard, right?
So it's a bit more. It's hard. I find it easier than TV.
Okay.
Because TV's more of a natural one, and you're just saying what they've done, what and why they've done it. Whereas the radio, you're trying to really be their eyes. So if you've got to imagine them closing their eyes, and so say for instance someone's got the ball on the left hand side of the box, and they've curled away on top B, and you've got to paint a picture.
You've got to say,
like where he is, how far he is out, what he's done. He's wrapped it around the defender. So you're painting the picture for them to really see it. So it's completely different, and that's why all of them 3 are great. And then on top of that, the podcast, which is again very similar to this, where you get people on and you're just chatting and really diving into their life, what people don't know about them.
Yeah, and on the commentary side though, do you have a replay in front of you?
Yeah.
Because I ask that because sometimes when people are commentating on the telly and they make a comment and you're like, are you actually watching the same game? You know, everyone has that opinion, don't they?
Yeah.
What is he watching? What replay is he watching? So I always wonder if there's different angles that the commentators are seeing that, like, because that's not handball, and the geezer's like stuck to his hand or something like.
Yeah, you'll always have it. Most 99% of the grounds have it. You might have the odd FA Cup one,
which you don't
where
need.
you're going to run corner way and you're in a porta cabin and like you've got nothing.
Yeah, just help me out, mate.
Anything, bit of feedback.
Yeah, yeah.
But
you've learned. But it's all about learning, right? So, like you say, it's a big learning curve. I mean, one of the things that I've always felt you try and instill in your kids that losing or failure is not the end, right? And I think that for me is something that, even in business, not everything works out, right? But it's what you learn from that you can do. But I mean, if you look at, I think you mentioned out there, and I don't know if we were being recorded at the time, about the playoff final that you played in.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about that, like the one, the first one you played in.
yes. So I went to Brentford on loan at Arsenal. So I was 17. So it's quite an early stage to go out on loan. Went to Brentford, League One, to get into the Championship. So I went there in October. And again, learning experience, going from Arsenal, literally underfloor heating, flip-flops, get into the dressing room, all your kit's laid out already. Like I'm 16, like youth team, all your kit's laid out, boots are done, go upstairs, all the food's immaculate, to go into Brentford, where the kit manager gives you a bag, black bag, and says, there's your kit, make sure it's washed every day, bring it in, don't look, you get fined for dirty.
Seriously?
Yeah, literally, I was like that. Welcome to Brentford. You go upstairs.
How old are you? 17, did you say?
I was 17, yeah. So this was like 2000s, like around about then. And then best shower, literally was a hose that come out of like one of the pipes that come out with just one hot shower. The rest of it all freezing cold. But I loved it.
Really?
So yeah, because I'm a bit of a grounding.
Yeah, I mean, my old man kept me grounded. So I come from a family of scaffolders. So dad, uncle, brothers. So even when I was a pro at Arsenal, I'd have my day off, or if I had a day off from training, my dad would come through the door, 6:30, right, come on. And I'd be like, what? He goes, you're going to work.
Did you really?
I promise you. He'd have me down the yard, and I'd be loading racks, loading lorries.
I mean, what a finish, though.
Yeah, I was like, didn't have the arms for it, you know what I mean? But he'd literally say, if you don't make it, you're literally doing this.
Yeah.
So you pick and choose what you want to do.
Gave you a drive to not...
Yeah. So again, it installed a little bit of grounding. So when I'm going to places like that, like Brentford, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then the season that we had was really good, really good. We should have actually gone up automatic, but we made playoffs and we played Stoke at the Millennium Stadium.
Nice.
And we was the team that went in, because there was a jinx that every team that went in a certain dressing room won the playoff or won the FA Cup final. So we was in that dressing room and we lost. We didn't turn up. None of us showed up. It was a really poor game. Didn't play well. So you had the euphoria of sort of going up on a really good season to a failure.
Because it's so finite, right? The playoff, that's the bit that amazes me about like the playoff outcome, is that you could finish third, right? You could be like 30 points clear of fourth and not go up.
Yeah.
So like you put all that effort into that season, and it's like anything. You put so much effort in, and then it's just cut at the point of nothing, and it's like and you start again.
Yeah, literally, and you start again.
Yeah.
You know, 40 games throughout the season, should have gone up.
Yeah.
Automatic. Didn't do that. So a little dip. So you regroup, get yourself ready for the playoff semi-finals, then the final, and then it's done. And then literally, you're sitting in the dressing room, you're thinking straight away, got to do this all again.
Yeah. So much of a mountain to climb.
Yeah, and you're so nearly there. Like you're so
Tasty,
nearly there to go up again to the next level, and it's like it's just taken away from you. And then, I mean, it was different for me because they went back to Arsenal.
Yes.
So then I'm going on another loan. I'm going on my own sort of path. Whereas them lads, it was.
Yeah. But like you say, it's a case of like, what a learning curve though, right? Because I bet you turned up for the next one, didn't you?
Like brilliant, like literally. So then you're like, so I experienced that when I was 17.
Yeah.
I didn't experience that throughout the whole career.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So to then go back to Arsenal, and then I went on loan to Belgium, which was an experience.
How long now?
So I went on loan to Belgium to a place called Beveren. So that was their feeder club. So I used to get players in from Africa as well to get them into Belgium, get like the green card or the European stamp. And then, so I was at Belgium with Yaya Toure, because I was going to sign for Arsenal. So I was playing with Yaya Toure, and he was a monster.
Was he unreal?
Oh, mate.
Really?
What a player he was.
Just an absolute joke. And in the end, obviously, Barca snapped him up under the noses of Arsenal. And then the ultimate one was really leaving Arsenal. Realising, right, I'm not going to make it, so I need to go down the ladder to go to Reading, to then come back up. So football's never
No.
like that, and business is never like that.
No.
Being successful is never like that.
No.
It's always up, downs. You might go the highest, steepest high,
Yeah.
and then come crashing down.
Yeah.
And it's all about regrouping, people around you, your own mentality to then go again.
Yeah. And did you have obviously you had family around you as well, right? The support and stuff. And I think like that, when you say about the grounding, because some people I guess there's a chance that you can get ahead of yourself in that as well, right? So there's probably an element of laziness. I think you mentioned that out on the course about like being relentless, like always just kind of not feeling that you'd ever really made it meant that you never really stopped trying to make it, which probably give you the success you got, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just seemed like it was just always going to happen.
Yeah.
There was never a doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to make it. So even when I went to Reading, and I was 19 when I signed for Reading in the Championship, I was one of the best players in the Championship at 19.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
No.
I just was there, just playing, and people going, "Poor."
You're in the
Out
moment.
of Arsenal. I mean, whereas you don't realise what's going on because you're just so driven.
Yeah.
So you're in a bubble world where all the other stuff it just flashes by you, literally.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. So when you look at that, when you look at what happened at Brentford and then coming back, like from a leadership perspective, who have you looked at? You know, because I think people need guiding lights when you're young, right? And I think that it's important to have and understand what good leadership means and ways of doing it. Like, obviously, you've been led by some of the greatest, right? Like, what do you see as a good leader?
A good leader is, I think, someone that can portray their vision and put that into whatever team they're leading. So whether it's a team of 5, team of 11, or a squad of 25 in terms of football, and you've got all of them people on board, and they've got the same. Like, so you could blag it. You could say, right, this is my vision, and blag what you're trying to say to them, and you'll get found out. But you could also blag it in terms of a way that you might not really feel it, but you've got them on board to just to drive that same way.
Do you think you can learn that, or do you think it's something you've either got or you haven't got?
I think you've either. I think there's an element that you have to have.
Yeah.
But then there'll be mistakes that you'll learn along the way that you won't do. So the biggest leader that I had that was brilliant was Jose Mourinho at Chelsea, and this is when he was in his pomp as well, like 2005.
Yeah.
He had everyone on side.
Really?
Everyone. So people that are starting in the 11, the subs, the ones that are not even involved. Two stories. We was in America pre-season, LA. I went to do a shoot for Samsung. So it was one of the sponsors. So all on the bus, outside Beverly Hills Hotel, or on the coach. Jose's at the front, or we're on there. Samsung reps come on, and he's gone to the fella, what are we getting for this? And he's going, nothing. This is part of like the club's contract. He's going, what, we're not getting nothing? So he's gone, nah. He's gone, it literally went, nah. Everyone off the bus. Right? So now we're at the back of the bus, like the team bus. We're going, what's going down there? He's gone, everyone off the bus. Everyone get off the bus now. So now the Samsung rep is flapping. He's going, if we're not getting nothing, like,
what are we doing?
Getting off. So you see him now, like march up and down Beverly Hills Boulevard, like this fella. He's come back on and he's gone, right, no worries. So when you get there, you can all pick 3 items and, you know. So he's gone, no worries. So mate, get to this shoot, stand there, one picture, that's it, go and pick and choose what you want. So like Didier's ordered like a 70-inch plasma, send it back to Ivory Coast. I've just signed Chelsea, mate. I've gone and got the smallest DVD player. I didn't want to take liberties. I've just got. I don't think he even had a remote control in his DVD player. I was so intimidated. But we got back on the bus and we're like, "Fuck, this fella got it."
Yeah. That's so funny. Small things, though, right?
Little things like that. And then another one where it weren't even about the players. So it was half term, school half term. We were coming for training, build up to a big game, I think as well. I think we was playing someone like Villa in the Prem. So he's come in, he's gone, right boys, training tomorrow, bring your kids in. Nice half term at home, give the wives and the girlfriends a relax. Yeah. He said, bring your kids in. He said, you haven't got kids? Go and find some kids, bring them in, right, like that. So you go home that day from training, you go to the missus, right, I'm going to take H into, and she's like, what? Never been done before.
Had never been, no.
So, mate, next day, got there, kids everywhere, like 200
carnage.
We're training, proper session, training on one pitch. There's like a little fence and there's, all you can hear is all commotion on the other side. Like, you had some staff looking after the kids, they're just kicking balls everywhere. They'll come on after some of all different ages and sizes. After having pictures of all the the players. You get home, the missus has had like whatever.
Best day ever.
But he's thinking, it's not about the player, it's then about all the
environment.
network around the player. So, like little things like that, and that's the only times they've been done.
Yeah.
After that, no other manager has done that.
Really?
Yeah. So that's obviously something that he's picked up
Yeah.
beforehand, or someone's told him.
If you're happy at home, right? If you're happy at home,
Yeah,
then you're going to be the pressure for you to be somewhere else.
Exactly.
You know, they want a clean mind for you, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You focus on what you're doing, nothing else,
Yeah.
and so if you can take the distraction away of everything else.
Yeah.
But amazing. But that's a cultural thing, right? So he obviously created, because one of the things we used to look at with him was that it was a very us and them mentality. Like, you know, from an outsider's, just as a football fan, it'd be like us against the world.
Siege mentality.
Yeah. And is it like that? Does he?
Yeah, he built it up. He'll build it up. He'll get newspaper cuttings or stuff that's been done online. He'll just go, look, this is what he's been saying. This is what they're saying about us.
Seriously.
Yeah, like as a build to a game. Like even like he'll plant seeds 2 weeks before the game. Like, right, listen, we're playing United away at Old Trafford in 2 weeks, but we've got whoever, Sunderland away this week coming up. But this is what they're saying about us for next week already. So like little droplets, and then as the build up to the game, then it's just literally all tunnel vision.
Clever, isn't it?
It's very focused.
Tunnel vision. And I've been lucky enough to work under some of the greats like Arsene Wenger.
Yeah.
Like he was very much like that, but very calm. Very calm.
So a different approach, but same outcome, right?
1,000,000%. Like a lot of people think that a lot of training round sessions and technical stuff was put on with him. It was just all natural. He was lucky that he had the players that he had.
Yeah, of course.
But he was just literally, I believe in you, and you. Just go and showcase it. Just go and do what you can do.
Yeah.
And no one can touch us.
You mentioned it. You mentioned out there about, and again, obviously, football fans will understand it. But he changed the game from a kind of nutrition perspective, right? You mentioned out there, but seeing that change, then everyone kind of started adopting it, right? Because it was such an impact that like everyone was then got to get on that.
Oh,
You haven't really seen a revolution that big again, have you? Since because it was a big change.
Yeah, and it's all fine margins.
Yeah.
Again, in business, it's all literally the 1%.
Yep.
And if you're doing that, then you're gaining 1% on someone else. So back then, when it was the supplements, the pills, like you come in and obviously there'd be trays of tablets and powders and all the stuff to take. Then it was the ice baths was the next craze. Then it was the new stage, the cryotherapy. So everyone's got a cryotherapy chamber now in the training ground.
Yeah.
So, and everyone just wants that added 1-2%. And if that's all it takes to define winning and losing, or gaining promotion or winning cups, then that's what it takes.
And the gaining promotion. So when you look at the promotions you've won, like did you at the start of that season, both them seasons, so you know with Reading and Brighton, did you get a sense that this is the year, or does it develop throughout the year? Like because obviously the confidence must be there at the start.
Yeah.
But when do you realise again, like actually, boys, this is it?
Not the Reading one, no.
No?
The Reading one, no, because we lost some big names at the start, and then we signed Shane Long and Kevin Doyle, that went on to obviously be top pros.
Yeah.
But we signed him for like 75 guineas. Do you know what I mean? From Ireland. Do you know what I mean? It was nothing. And then we lost the first game of the season to Plymouth at home. Got booed off the pitch.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like, oof, all right. And then before you know it, we just went on a run.
Yeah,
and then,
amazing.
like any momentum, when you're going and you just go, like, it ended up going to a stage where we was going to games knowing we was going to win. It was just a matter of how many was going to score.
Really?
Literally, it was going to be like we could get 2 to 7 goals today, whatever we wanted.
Whatever you choose.
Which is mad. But then when you're at that bubble and you go, we had a mindset of like that, it's like no-brainer.
It's hard to snap into that though, right?
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
And then even when I was at Fulham or Stoke, like when I was at Stoke, home to Arsenal, I'll be the first time I was at Stoke, I was like, tough game this weekend, boys. Like Arsenal home, they were like, nah. I said, there's like, watch these when they get off the bus. So you get to Stoke, the wind's flapping, the corner flag's doing that, and they're off the bus like that.
That was a hard place to go, though, wasn't it?
So you just, but then you feed off that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it could be false pretences.
Create a castle, right?
But you just create like an environment, a culture where you just go, right, we've got this. Like, it doesn't matter who comes into that.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got this podcast now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how did that start? What was the idea behind that?
So the pod was actually originally going beforehand, and presenter-wise, it was flipping between different people, and they wanted to go a different approach. So they approached me. So it was me and Joe Cole, All to Play For podcast.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. I actually love it. And again, it's another branch that's completely different to the others.
Yeah.
So guests that come on, all different. Players, previous players, up and coming players. We had Clive Tilvesy on the other day,
Did you?
commentator.
Legend,
And again, seeing football through different eyes and how they watch it and how they prep, how they all their different walks of life as well. They've been involved in. Like, he was really heavily involved in Liverpool, so with Hillsborough and Heysel, so which I didn't really know, and it was everyone knew everyone that was involved in that tragedy. So you come across a lot of people. Yeah, you need to do a lot of studying and a lot of homework for the guests because you don't want to be caught short with all your all the stuff you do beforehand. And I enjoy it. So yeah, that's ongoing. We're getting some good views, good content, and it's good. It's good insight. It's good to know people. Like, everyone can know someone from the TV screen.
Yep.
But then when you want to hit them with hard hitting questions as well, and go under the skin, and it's down to them to answer it if they want to do or not. And you see a side to them that you can always relate to as well. So
I think that's what we try. I mean, this thing has come out, right, as a passion project for Mark and I, right? Just like, we've got a lot of interesting friends that we know a lot about, but a lot of people don't know enough about. To your point, you only get allowed in to what they want you to see, but I think there's so much more to individuals, and whether it's like you say, a business star, football star, an actor, whatever it may be. For us, like the idea of our golf friends was really to show people like a lighter side to it, right? But also like an inspirational component, because when people realise all the struggles, everyone sees the glory, right? Like, such an easy thing. I think there's always that thing, right? You know, it took me 10 years to become an overnight success. Right? That's true everywhere.
Yeah.
But people just go, "Oh, they've had it. They've been lucky." Yeah. And there's always like the people that say lucky drives me insane, because it's like, mate, if you knew how much shit I've eaten in my life to become lucky. Yeah,
the hard yards are always there, and no one's got anywhere successful just being give it to them.
But also,
no one platform to be given, and then it's down to you to then make that a success. Yeah. But you got to have the drive and determination.
And I think and that's the insight that I like, and the stories, and some of the stories I like hearing people's journeys. Yeah. Because I think they're an inspiration to others, right? Because you know, you can buzz off people that are around you, but if the people who are around you aren't necessarily the inspiration that you're looking for, then you got to get deeper into other elements. So I think stuff like this is for me, and that kind of comes into the bits around like what ifs, right? I've always been quite fortunate to not have what ifs, because I've tried to do everything that would create a what if. Yeah. Sometimes you wish you didn't.
No.
But like, you know, I mean yourself as well, right? You know, you were working. I remember, you know, we were talking about sort of how you ended up doing a Lego and stuff, right?
It's timing, isn't it? You know, I was doing something. I just fell into, left school, went to work for the family business. You know, the easy thing to do. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. Kind of get stuck in a rut. Didn't really want to explain to my dad that, you know, this isn't really what I want to do. Yeah. So you end up sticking at it. My brother was in the business, you know, he was flying in the business. So to have that conversation with my dad, to be like, look, I don't really want to do this, was tough. And it took me too long really to have that conversation. And eventually I did. And it's kind of like, so what do you want to do? And it's like, you know, I don't know. You know, it's a bit of a crossroad moment. And then, you know, timing wise, I then went to Ireland, played golf, met Warren, who started a Lego, and you know, that was sort of 12 years ago. I've never looked back.
Was it really 12 years ago?
12 years ago.
Wow,
But it's all sliding door, isn't it? So you could have easily have gone, swallowed it, and just gone and stayed working for that. And you might not have enjoyed it, but just to keep.
And then be sat there with the what ifs, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And like football, I think that is one of the biggest what ifs as well, because you're changing football clubs all the time, near enough. Well, you don't. Not some people are obviously one club men, but there's opportunities to go.
Yes, yeah.
So you even look at Gerrard. He could have, he was very, very close to going to Chelsea. Very, very close.
Right. Okay.
Another what if moment, like me going to Chelsea. So played at Reading, done had the dream season getting promoted. I was literally after I knew I was going to see my contract out because I was going to go on a free. Told the club that as well. And then after literally every game I was playing on the Monday, I'd be talking to that club, that manager, literally. So the only ones we didn't speak to was Liverpool, Man United.
Right, okay.
So then when the Chelsea one come up, people are going, you ain't going to play, you're going to be a bit part of the squad. And that was it. It was like, well, but what if Essien gets injured or Lamptey gets injured and you end up playing the games and you win a Premier League title, or you get to Champions League final and whatever happens, you play and you get the medal. that I can't not say I could have played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how can I say to my kids, I had 3 boys at the time or 2 boys at the time, I could play for Chelsea. Oh, Dad, why didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Didn't fancy it. Or
And they were
Well,
at the
me.
height, right, as well. They were the
was it.
place
So
to be.
I was like, right, I want to go for it. If it don't work out, what's the worst thing that can happen? I'll just come down the ladder somewhere.
Yeah.
Or I'll just get a move somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? But what I learned, even though I was only there for a year, obviously Jose got sacked and Scolari come in. And to be fair, the year that I was at Chelsea as well, it was the worst year they've ever had in the history of literally. We lost the league. We lost the league to United by a point.
No.
We lost the Champions League to United in Moscow.
No.
We lost the League Cup to Spurs, 2007. Last time you boys see a trophy.
Oh, I guess.
Chilling. And then we got knocked out of the FA Cup to Barnsley in the quarterfinals. So I come away with nothing in the end of it. But
you didn't have any what ifs, though, right?
yeah, no what ifs. But again, I could have easily have gone, no, right, it's time for Newcastle, because they was like next ones, or. But no, I was like, aim for the top, and go for it. If it doesn't, then there's always branches underneath to fall on.
And it's too easy to settle, right? Like I think people settle, in my opinion, way too quickly. It's and that goes across all walks of life.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I've got. This is what I'm doing. Like, not thinking about what the opportunities could be if you push something new or went into a new area. When you talk about transfers, it always staggers me, like the football transfers, because like one moment you're playing in London, and then the next minute you're in Stoke, right?
Yeah.
And like that must be quite. How much of the family influence is that as well? Like, because obviously, if I say to my missus we want to move from Teddington down the road to Cobham, it's like it would be an upheaval.
Yeah.
Like, where it's about 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Go to another country, mate, and
Just
10 minutes.
saying that, and then you're going to Stoke.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So that's the impact. It all depends on. And some people are relentless. Some people just go, listen, this is my work.
Yeah.
You're going to follow me.
Yeah.
Wherever we go. And some like wives and fans do that and they cater for that. Some players have their own confidence and go, I won't move up.
I'm actually all right.
I'll be south all the time.
Yeah.
I'll scatter around down there. But that's a conversation you've got to have. And 9 times out of 10, the network you've got around you, it's like, it's a short career.
Yeah.
We go wherever we go.
Yeah.
If we go abroad and we have different experiences, then great.
Yeah.
If they're good ones, brilliant. If they're bad ones,
And did you have an agent at the time?
Yeah, had an agent from probably when I was about 16, 17.
And they obviously help guide and
Yeah.
give out opportunities and access, right?
Yeah, and in the end, my agent become a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So there was never a working relationship. Although it was
I
a
know what you
business and
mean,
working
yeah.
relationship, I could rely and trust him that the deal that was on the table
Was the best.
genuine, open book, was the right one.
Yeah.
So, which again helps in your decision making.
Yeah.
So, there's loads of ups and downs, big decisions, whether that's yourself, family, upheavals, but 9 times out of 10 you get them right.
Yeah.
You get them right, and the ones that don't work out, you just
But you learn from
and you
it.
go
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
and that's it. It's,
And you learn from it, right?
like everyday life.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So, look, man, it sounds like you've had an incredible career and everything to date, right? And the podcast and interest. So, what's next, guys? What's next?
Yeah, so I've still got my badges.
Yep.
So there's always an element of me that thinks I will get dragged into.
Do you think?
I say dragged in. They get pulled in, especially when people go to me, "You're too good to not be a manager." Like I bump into people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing now? I'm doing broadcast. That's easy. That's easy."
Oh, really?
You know, so. And if I'm honest, this is probably one of the first times I've said this, that there is an element to me that is scared to go in.
Yeah.
That especially when you see people get bitten very, very early in that.
What, not
it's-
given a
It's
chance, you mean? Not.
cutthroat as well, isn't it?
Yeah, like seeing Frank, Stevie, like they've done really well at Rangers. You go to Villa, bang, done. Like if his next job ain't good, done. Like out of the question. So putting yourself in that picture, you're going,
What
do I
down
need
to,
that?
though? Is it too big a jump too quick, or is it bigger egos? Is it?
I think it's everything. But ultimately, it comes from what's in you.
Yeah.
So Frank, for instance, he didn't need to go into management or coaching. Like first of all, what he's done in his career is unreal. Financially, like very, very, very
smart.
comfortable. He doesn't need that stress. He doesn't, and it is stress when you talk to people like Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's a fine example. He done a piece with Crouchy. I remember, and it sticks with me as well. So Crouchy was on the brink of either broadcasting or coaching, and he said to Crouchy, don't even go into coaching.
Really?
And that's Jurgen Klopp. He
Yeah.
said, don't even go into it. He said, just stay out of it. He said, if you don't want the stress and the worry, and it has a stranglehold on your personal life as well, stay out of it. So, but there's something in me
So
that
you going in it?
there'll always,
After all that?
yeah, I think that will always be there.
Yeah.
The broadcasting stuff I love. I love that, but it's hard. It's getting hard now. So for every 3 chairs that's available, you've got probably 150 players that can jump in there and that want to do it. And again, it's all about opinions. So what might be good for BT might not be good for Sky.
And some people want it feels as well, the controversy side of it is becoming like, not confrontation, but they're kind of ramping that up in certain areas, right? Where they like the confrontation of my team versus you feel that it's a different vibe.
Yeah, some people get a gig now because they'll just go out and say anything, and as long as they can back it up, but they might not really mean it. But as long as they can back it up, then
they're provocative,
they've got a job.
Yeah, they're provocative.
It's kind of the villain thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Everyone likes that though, really deep down as well.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's always that side of it, but the broadcast stuff I love. Now, there's a shelf life to it because again, they're always going to want the next insight out the dressing room, the next one that's played with or against De Bruyne, or the next crop. Yeah. So you always got to always evolve. And then there's a side thing that I'm doing now with a business that we're going to do sort of a more commercial office fit outs.
Okay.
So it's not something that I know. I know property, I know residential, I know commercial stuff from own portfolios.
Did you do a lot of property? Because a lot of players do property, right? It's kind of like, it feels to me like that's a go-to.
Been bitten.
Right, okay.
Been bitten by City Investments, led down the garden path. Okay. Luckily, weren't big ones that scorched me.
Yep.
So, but again, life skills, talking to people, knowing in different environments. So this business side, this commercial one, we're going to go live in April, May time. It's called Box Free Projects, and it's just going to be all commercial fit out. So going in with 2 friends that's been involved in the industry for a long, long time. Cat A, Cat B, strip outs, D-laps, you name it. So we've got some good leads already. And again, it's something that I don't know much about, but I'm hungry to get involved. So even to the point of being on site and being with subbies and right, what's this, what's that? So, and I love that
detail.
Again, we said before, I think if you're involved in something, we're in it. And you're in it all. There's no nooks and crannies that you don't want to find out about.
I'm a big believer though in the power of the collective, right? And I think that if you look at the people that you know, and I think golf is a great driver for businesses like that, right? Yeah. The amount of people you'll meet on your travels that will be either having a refurb, and having that to talk about as well, I think is a fantastic way. And I think golf is a great bond, I think, for business. And
business
I think
and pleasure is great.
And the two can combine.
Yeah, you could go one hole talking pure business.
Yeah,
even to the point where you're trying to
get pull the scorecard out to sign the deal sort of thing.
To literally putting a flag in that hole and then teeing off to be going, we're doing Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What are you up to? Well, it's brilliant, isn't it?
The conversations.
And when you're with someone for 4 hours, hopefully it's.
You could grind them down, mate, to sign a contract. Please take it. Listen, Steve, look, massive thanks for coming on, because obviously this is new to us, right? And you're an experienced guy in this sort of field. So thank you for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Really enjoyed it, and I'm sure it's definitely got legs and stuff to definitely progress with the ideas you've got and the people behind it. It's hopefully you get me back on.
Mate, absolutely.
We get another rematch on.
What are we doing tomorrow, guys? I'm going to need to order. No, but thanks very much, guys, mate. Honestly, it's been a great experience for us.
Absolutely loved it.
Cheers, Steve, man. Speak soon. Cheers, guys. Up.